The 2024 NHL Draft is just 1 month away, taking place June 28th and 29th at the Sphere in Las Vegas. The Calgary Flames will be selecting at 9th overall at the draft as they kick off their retooling process under General Manager Craig Conroy. Calgary is a Canadian hockey market with a passionate fan base, so every year the weeks and months leading up to the draft weekend are filled with debate over which player the Flames should select with their first pick. But this year, draft debates amongst fans, scouts, and analysts have gone to a whole new level for one reason. Tij Iginla, a star forward for the Western Hockey League's Kelowna Rockets, and the eldest son of Calgary Flames legend and Hockey Hall of Famer Jarome Iginla. Let's get into it. Jarome Iginla was born on July 1st, 1977 in Edmonton, Alberta, and grew up in nearby St. Albert. Iginla grew up playing baseball and hockey and really excelled on the ice. After impressing in bantam and midget, Iginla caught on with the Western Hockey League's Kelowna Rockets as a 16-year-old in 1993. He proceeded to spend 3 seasons with the Blazers, looking progressively more impressive. He won 2 league championships and 2 Memorial Cups, Canada's national junior title, with the Blazers, and was a first-round selection of the Dallas Stars, 11th overall, in the 1995 NHL entry draft. 6 months after being drafted, Iginla was traded to the Calgary Flames. Flame star forward Jarome Iginla was embroiled in a contract dispute at the time, and his holdout resulted in a trade to Dallas, with Iginla and checking forward Corey Millen going back to the Flames. Iginla made his NHL debut during the 1996 Stanley Cup playoffs, signing with the Flames at the end of his junior season and playing the final 2 games against Chicago, and he eventually went on to become a dominant NHL player. It's really difficult to understate how good a hockey player Iginla was, especially during his peak years. He spent 20 seasons in the National Hockey League, scoring 625 goals and 1,300 points across 1,554 games. He won basically every team and individual award that a player could win, aside from the Hart Trophy as NHL MVP and the Stanley Cup, and he was named into the Hockey Hall of Fame on his first year of eligibility. Quite simply, Iginla is one of the best Canadian hockey players of all time, and he's definitely the best Calgary Flames player of all time. Now let's talk about his kids. Jerome and his wife Cara have 3 kids. Jade, their only daughter, was born in 2004. She's a right wing who just finished her sophomore season at Brown University. She won a gold medal at the Under-18 World Championships in 2021-22. Tij, their eldest son, was born in 2006. He plays left wing and center, and he just finished his 2nd season in the Western Hockey League. He played a year with the Seattle Thunderbirds, and then was traded to the Kelowna Rockets. He's won a WHL championship, a silver medal from the Under-17 Hockey Challenge, and a gold medal from the Under-18 World Championships. We'll get back to him. Joe, their youngest son, was born in 2008. He's another forward and was drafted by the WHL's Edmonton Oil Kings. He'll be a full-time Western Leaguer next season. After impressing with Rink Hockey Academy in Kelowna, coached by his dad, Tij joined the Seattle Thunderbirds in 2022. The Thunderbirds were, on paper, a great place for Tij to play and learn because they were stacked. They got even more stacked during the season as they added NHL prospects like Luke Prokop, Brad Lambert, Colton Dock, and Dylan Guenther as they made a push to win a championship. Tij played fairly well during his rookie season, posting 18 points over 48 games. But the arrival of the more established players diminished his playing time and ultimately saw him pushed to the sidelines during the playoffs. Tij ended up playing just 3 of the Thunderbirds' 19 playoff games, and he didn't dress at all in the Memorial Cup. Tij was traded to Kelowna following the season, allowing Seattle to recoup some draft capital that they spent while loading their team up, and sending Tij to a place where he could have a larger role. However, it was a challenge to forecast Tij's draft year because of how odd his first season in Seattle was, to the point where he wasn't really seen as a first-round talent in early draft rankings. But he really thrived in Kelowna, carving out a big role as an offensive producer. He posted 47 goals and 84 points across 64 games, and really raised his draft stock. To put it in perspective, let's look at the rankings put out over the past year by the Athletic's Scott Wheeler. Iginla was not ranked on his early top 24 last April or in his preseason top 32 last August, nor was he an honorable mention on either list. By November, he had risen to 33 on the rankings. By January, he was 21st, and in April's rankings following the Under-18 Worlds, he was up to 12th. So, is Tij Iginla any good at hockey? Let's see what the scouts have to say. From Jason Bukala at Sportsnet, quote, "He's sturdy and strong, 5'11", 182 pounds, has the pace to be a threat off the rush, and battles to extend plays along the boards and out front of the net. When a lane opens up, he's aggressive ripping pucks on net and follows the play to the crease, looking for secondary chances. Ben Misfelt of McKeen's Hockey, quote, "There are numerous details in Iginla's game that scream NHL potential, and a lot of it is towards the high-end side. For one, Iginla is a gamer who will be able to make a smooth transition to the NHL due to his work ethic, physical attributes, style of play, and attention to detail. One example of this is Iginla's ability to control the puck in tight areas and along the boards. This has been a key reason for his success this season. During puck battles, he comes up with the possession so frequently, oftentimes without even engaging physically. Also, his desire and willingness to take the puck to the net stands out as significantly superior to his WHL peers. There's nothing timid about his game. If there's any space for him to work his way towards the net, he is going to take it in that direction. Combine this ability with his heavy NHL shot, and he is a consistent scoring threat on the ice." Luke Sweeney of Dubber Prospects, quote, "His habits away from the puck are a definite strength. With his frequent scanning, active stick, good forechecking routes, and hard-nosed back-checking, Iginla's best skills seem to be in slowing the play down to give him space or finding soft spots on the ice. He gets off the wall in the middle quickly and can also drift into high-danger areas, and when paired with his lightning-quick snapshot, makes him a dangerous goal scorer. Though his skating isn't elite, he's got quickness, stability, and mobility, which helps him to be a solid transition player, though they're more useful off the cycle, where he is just as effective, solving problems and playing a possession game." Why should the Flames draft Tij Iginla? Well, first and foremost, he's really good at hockey. He's had a well-defined role in Major Junior for a single year, and his game has grown by leaps and bounds, and so has his offensive production. He's able to score goals and set up goals by his teammates. Considering scoring more goals than the other team is the key to winning hockey games, Iginla is the type of player that can help your team win. When you consider that Tij is an August 2006 birthday and has played only 115 WHL games, he could just be scratching the surface of what he can be. For comparison's sake, Spokane's Berkeley Catton has played 140 games, and Medicine Hat's Andrew Basha has played 178 games. The Flames hockey operations department involves Tij's dad as an advisor and two of his dad's former Flames teammates in key roles. Calgary could be a good environment for him to develop. Tons of strong NHL players had sons that became pretty good prospects, but just didn't put together bodies of work that would have merited being high first-round picks. Simply put, taking the sons of other NHL greats at 9th overall would have been a reach. But Iginla's worked himself into a position where draft experts have him going somewhere around the top 10. Finally, the Flames charge for tickets, so they're just as much as an entertainment product as they are a sports team. Drafting Tij could help the Flames win games and sell tickets and jerseys. It could be a win-win if it all works out. So, why shouldn't the Flames draft Tij Iginla? Well, there's a chance that the Flames draft modeling could say that Tij is the best guy to take at 9th overall, and they could take him, and one of the other guys that they didn't take could be a better player in the future. The draft is a bit of a crapshoot, and that would be true with anybody the Flames took at this spot. Right now, the Flames NHL roster is chock full of wingers, and their developmental system is too. Tij can play center, and he's listed as a center, but in the Western League, he's primarily played winger so far, and we would call him a winger that would take some faceoffs here and there right now. You don't make long-term decisions based on your current roster, but Tij's path to the NHL could be a bit simpler if he was a center, and there's going to be competition on the wing for him to get developmental reps. Finally, let's talk about pressure. Now, expectations are high for every single first-round NHL draft pick. It just comes with the territory. And yeah, because of his last name, Tij is going to get a bit more attention and have a bit more pressure on him. But this is both an argument for and against taking him. Tij is going to get a chance to enter the Flame system if he gets drafted at a time where they have a lot of players in the pipeline, such as Dustin Wolf, Jeremy Poirier, Jacob Pelche, Sam Honzik, Matt Coronado, and Hunter Brustevich. Not to mention whoever else the Flames take this year. So the fate of the Flames franchise won't necessarily be determined by whether or not Tij becomes a star player or not, but you can make an argument that this pick, this 9th overall pick, could be the Flames' best chance to really kickstart the rebuild with a bona fide superstar player at this spot. And, taking Tij here, maybe he's the guy, maybe he's not. But if it doesn't work out, you can make an argument that it'd be almost doubly disappointing to the fan base and the organization if it doesn't. But if it works out, you can make an argument to be even more exciting than any other player who would work out at the spot. So the pressure argument and the expectations argument can kind of cut both ways. So it's both an argument for and against, and we're placing it in against, but you can really take this argument in either direction. So, should the Flames draft Tij Iginla if he's available at 9th overall? Well, if they think he's the best player available, then they probably should. If they trust their scouting staff and the processes they put in place, not drafting a qualified player because of his last name would be almost as bad as selecting an unqualified player for the same reason. And at the end of the day, you've got to trust your people to make the right decision. If they're the right people and you have the right processes in place, you've got to stick to your guns.